Welcome, everybody, to the Windy City Savage. We are live, back at it once again. Introduce yourself, co-host, before you stop pointing at me.
I gotta keep pointing because I am the pointing man. It is me. It's SG3. How y'all doing tonight? See, point.
Alrighty, the betrayal season has begun. Seth Rollins is once again out of a group, and that is Division, his own group that he found. Tonight, he cut a promo saying he doesn't need any help from anyone. He did everything by himself. All right, you say this promo when you have a couple of guys that have been helping you for the last couple of weeks since you formed this group. I don't even want to say couple, last months. Yeah, since WrestleMania season basically ended. Division got formed. Division helped Seth get out of some tough matchups. And then once again, he's out of a group, man. What was your thoughts, reaction? What do you think overall?
Well, firstly, he didn't. He chose. He chose the people. That's number one. Number two, I feel like it's too soon. Well, honestly, I feel like it's too soon. They should not have done this betrayal so soon.
I mean, dude, let me ask you something. Are you happy every week watching Raw with the same old formula that we've been getting?
I mean, this was, like I said, I brought it back to you a while back on one of our shows where I said this is like an evolution 2.0. You know, kind of. I'm not saying it was completely.
That's the issue, is that you're doing the rinse, recycle, repeat. Instead, we got something, I don't know. I'm all up for it. Reason why is that we got something new, something exciting. Because let's be real, ain't nobody
did predict this. No.
Nah. We thought these were the seeds on the last couple of weeks of stuff getting planted, like when, you know, Heyman and them were in the back and saying, you know, well, he needs to win, and you know, they asked him the question, well, what if he loses? Well, you know what to do if he loses. And that was already the seeds, like, as in the betrayal was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it's like we got caught off guard, and I think this is a good thing. I get what you're saying, dude, but I guess it's just, to me, it's like now we got something to look forward next Monday. Now I'm excited to want to watch next Monday Night Raw, instead of like, oh, God, guess what? Monday Night Raw, same old stuff. Division's going to open up and talk for 30 minutes and end the show with the bronze tag team against somebody that we don't really. My point is, look, football season is starting. I mean, it started. You're moving around the time slot. Today, okay, you're overseas. I forgive you guys on that. But in general, you've been moving around time slots, and we're going to get into some other stuff in a bit, but you need a ratings booster. I think this is what's it.
I agree with you on that, 100%. Ratings booster, 100%. It works out. It does the right stuff. It brings in people's attention. Dude, it was literally all over social media. Last night I actually worked until 5, a little bit, you know, personal note there, but I worked last night until 5, so I didn't really watch a lot of Raw this morning. But when I woke up, the first thing literally that comes on my Instagram feed, Seth Rollins is getting betrayed. I'm like, oh, that's different. You know, and everyone's talking about it. ESPN, Bleacher Report, everyone's just like literally just drop after drop after drop. Vision done. I'm like, dude, this is what I woke up to. Like, just nonstop, just alert, notification alert. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Cool. So I do see 100% where it's coming from, where you do have the shock right now of the year. Because we thought this was going to go to War Games.
So my question is then, if you didn't want it to happen now, when did you thought it was the right time, I guess?
War Games. After War Games. Seth could have been pissed, whatever. Seth could have just been mad, just started slapping everybody, like going up to Bronson Reed, like, you're supposed to do what I tell you. You're supposed to do what I tell you. And then Bronson's like, all right, cool. Like, right now, let the anger have simmered. But I'm guessing, though, the promo that Seth cut in the beginning was
just go with it, you know? All right, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. We're back at it. All righty.
That's what we're saying. So back to what I was saying. You know what, though, with the promo that Seth was cutting out in the beginning, it does make sense for the betrayal that happened tonight. Where he was saying, you know, I didn't need help from anybody. I didn't ask Paul Heyman to help me out in WrestleMania. I didn't need him to help me out at WrestleMania. I beat CM Punk and Roman Reigns by myself. I didn't need Bronson. I didn't need Braun. So it's like you started seeing like, oh, okay, cool, you didn't need us.
Mm-hmm.
Got it, cool. So that was like the seeds that started to just enroll.
So we already seen tensions. So it was more a Braun Breaker's reaction.
Yeah.
Because he told Bronson, you either join me or no.
You're either with me or with him.
Yeah.
Make your decision.
And he made his decision because we already know Bronson Reed's history with Seth.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we saw the seeds. Paul Heyman is shocked for now. But you can't trust that guy because we already know his history of betrayal throughout the years. So, you could be shocked for the factor right now, but
the fact that he raised both of their hands and the way he looked down on Seth, like, you deserve this, dude.
It's like you did it to yourself.
Yeah.
Because Seth started to crack under pressure. And when you crack under pressure, you start doing very desperate things. And that's what happened, I feel like, in the last couple of weeks, especially when losing to CM Punk and AJ Lee. And things are not going his way. But guess what? He is still champion. This is the most intriguing part. We have never seen this type of storyline before where the guy gets betrayed.
Wow, still champion.
And we don't even know if he's going to turn full baby heel. Babyface.
Uh-huh.
He's still technically heel, as we know.
Yeah.
This is intriguing. This is why I say this is something different. This is something unique. I'm going to take it.
Or it could also be the fact that the Bronsons become anti-hero and Seth still is heel.
That'll be unique.
Because remember Roman, even though Paul Heyman was with him, he was still the anti-hero. People still cheered him, people still applauded him. And the moment he turned, people went crazy. Sorry, not the moment. The moment that Braun turned on Seth, people went crazy. People were cheering. People went crazy for it. So I can see maybe even an angle where the Bronsons are your anti-heroes and then Seth is still full heel.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, but when you have Paul Heyman on your side, you're most likely a heel all the time. That's the issue. I mean, once in a while you get technically CM Punk affiliated with them was heel in his beginning stages. Roman was the anti-hero babyface, really. That was really one of the only times that, Paul Heyman was used for that point. But the reason why they have Paul Heyman aligned with these guys is the guys who can't cut good promos on the mic.
Just yet.
I don't think that's Braun Breaker, obviously, or maybe it can be because he has a comedic effect. Maybe he doesn't know how to cut promos long term, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and more into details. So, point being is that it's more for Bronson Reed and Braun, and they probably want to establish the next set of group of guys that are obviously heels. Eventually, you're going to have Cody Rhodes once again leaving to promote Street Fighter. Same thing with Roman. Guess what? Those are your top baby faces gone. Now, if they're going to turn Seth babyface, it does make sense why they did this angle. I'm saying, if that was the case. And not only that, it was just much needed. Let's go talk about something that's going to probably get into this whole storyline. And that is Roman Reigns and the Usos. And what Roman said in Perth after he lost the match against Bronson Reed. So congrats to them. They finally pulled the trigger.
Yep.
I'm finally happy that this was the right move. I don't think nothing bad happens to Roman. He could suffer a loss. He's still Roman Reigns. But this was much needed for Bronson Reed to elevate him to the top. And the disappointment that Roman did have with the Usos says, I told you guys not to appear. I wanted to see you guys until Christmas. I love you guys, but I don't want to see you guys till Christmas. So, man, that tension there, and Jay didn't look happy, obviously.
You know what he said after, right?
Yeah.
It's always been him. Let him be him.
There's betrayal coming from one of either sides there too. So this is gonna all simmer together into the same storyline, and it's gonna be taken to War Games. Where, look, my prediction is this: you got the Bronson, you got the Breaker. I think Paul Heyman's gonna pull in a favor and call someone from NXT, and that's Oba Femi.
I can see that.
He lost his championship, and I think he's out already. I think he's out of the brand, and is going to be called up pretty soon. And that guy fits in with that vision setup they have right now. and that's your next guy for War Games included, on top of whoever they're gonna simmer in next. But regardless, it's gonna be interesting the next couple of weeks to see how this all plots together. Look, another reason why they did this was because SmackDown. It's been announced last week that SmackDown rating was an all-time low. It's already at 1 million. It was 1.3 million. So that means it's been going down, 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 and down. That is not a good sign. So put it this way. We all know who's in charge of SmackDown, and that is Road Dogg. I don't understand why the man still has a job, because it was announced too that they were planning to fire all the writers except for Road Dogg. They didn't say fire. So what does remove mean? You're out.
Yeah, pretty much.
So my thing is, dude, what storyline have you really remember on SmackDown the Road Dogg had participation of? I don't know. Maybe the Bloodline, but I don't even think so, man. I feel like that was just a combination of everybody at the time being. That was even including Vince.
Well, remember, hold on, wait. What was it? Look at what they just did this past week. They brought in Shinsuke. What else did they bring? What else did they bring back on Birth?
But that was because of it wasn't. So this wasn't the low rating of this SmackDown. This was the low rating of last SmackDown. Yeah.
What up, Tyler? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man? Talking about what just happened, the betrayal of Seth Rollins and the Vision. Look, we're just, speculating, but we're also talking about why this happened, and this could be due to SmackDown's low ratings. And I think I've heard that even Raw's suffering a bit, but that's mostly because of the NFL.
Yeah, it always happens.
Yeah, but I think this is what they needed to spike up, viewerships for next week. Because this is all going to tie in for everybody wanting to watch next week's Raw and even next week's SmackDown, obviously. Mm-hmm. So, okay, your thoughts and opinions overall.
So, in regards, again, like, if the whole thing is, well, I mean, again, this SmackDown, I guess that's where they brought back everybody that they brought back.
Mm-hmm.
Brought in Shinsuke against Sammy. Brought in, they brought somebody back, too. They brought a female wrestler back.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forgot to.
About her, like, they did a lot on SmackDown. Like, there was, because, again, I was working that day, but someone posted, like, this SmackDown was loaded. I'm like, wow, okay, it's been a while since they loaded that. Shinsuke came back with his old theme, everything. I was like, okay, so maybe now they're getting desperate. I wouldn't
say it was loaded. I would just say because of the crowd, it was more investment.
The way I'm seeing it loaded is because of all the star power you saw.
I wasn't so much. I seen it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was better than last week. I still think it was kind of, underdwelling. I would say this though: Y6 and the NFTs, that looks a lot better than the MFTs involved with anything else at this point.
Yeah,
because we did see the return of Tama Tonga finally.
Yeah,
with the face paints, all of them, all the brothers.
That's the one. That's another one. The MFC came back.
Yeah. So that was kind of nice to see. And if they're gonna feud off with the Y6 in the future, I don't know if the MFT is gonna get another member eventually, and the female member.
Yeah. Hold on. This is what I was actually looking for. So to add to you, hashtag Fire Triple H has been trending nonstop, but they also have said multiple writers have joined Road Dogg's team on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So it was probably just Road Dogg by himself, and like this is all the writers accumulating this past weekend on SmackDown, this past Friday.
Yeah, new writers.
The whole heck of new writers.
Yeah, but okay, put it this way: you get new writers, you bring in your star power. Okay, that's just 1 week. Follow it up. Yeah, just because it looks good 1 week doesn't mean this is going to happen every single week. You can't just use the same formula. Oh, let's bring in someone that no one's seen. James Ellsworth. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. It's like, this is a good start, but your continuation what really matters. And that's always been the struggle, is that they go for the cheap pop, but they don't know how to continue on after that. Same thing, my concern with the whole Vision betrayal was that it's a nice reaction, really nice. But what we're gonna get after that?
That's true.
All right. So will be interesting to see how they're gonna pick everything back up because ratings are down a bit. And I don't. Okay, so when it comes to SmackDown, that could be formulated to this, and also the playoffs for the MLB. Same thing would happen to AEW. I feel like. What do we got for comment, by the way?
I know someone who's starting a Netflix account. I'm trying to get I'm trying to get a Netflix account so that I can use VPN because I have access to WWE Raw, SmackDown, and NXT pay-per-views too. FESPN.
FFPs. I'm not gonna lie, man. That's your best route. Go get a VPN. We're not endorsing it, but my advice: do you really want to pay $30 and still be missing some content, or do you want to go with the VPN? Get the outside Netflix. I guess you could say, what did they say? Overseas. Go overseas. Go sailing overseas.
Literally.
And then from there, you're all set for the whole time being. Until I feel like, I don't know, I'm kind of scared that WWE is going to try to figure out a way to cut all that off. But they haven't yet.
TKO's been trying for a while, though.
But they haven't yet, though. I don't
true.
think they can't. I think they just can't. There's just no way. So hopefully they never do. Because that's just corporate greed on their part. Overall though, there's a lot of factors. The NFL, the MLB playoffs, and that goes for AEW too. But I'm gonna just say this: don't you think that we're at a point, all right? Because not too long ago, someone posted some pictures, and we're not talking about AEW. We're talking about WWE. There were some seats that were not filled all the way now.
Yep.
So, are we starting to get the wrestling bubble crash now? Are we starting to get the fatigue of wrestling a bit? I'm not saying it went all the way into full effect, but I think people are getting tired of paying these prices overall for streaming service, for good seats or even nosebleed seats, as well as the same old shit every week. You're starting to see it: viewership, house shows, live events. There's that fatigue coming. We're going to hit the crash. Once again, this was what we were all fearing as wrestling fans. This was going to happen. This is why we give so much criticism back to every wrestling promotion that does bad. Not just WWE, not just AEW, but this was TNA, this was MLW, this was Ring of Honor, which is technically AEW. You get the point. This is just well needed because we want wrestling to grow as a whole. And now I feel like that fatigue is coming through once again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's just hope that I feel like WWE is going to the right directions little by little. So give them benefit of the doubt. Reason why I was actually shocked when I opened up, when I went to work, I didn't catch much of Raw. When I went to work and saw the ending, and I'm like, oh crap, they finally did it, earlier than expected. I don't know. Let's just see what we got. What else we got here?
And this crazy. He's told me that the Netflix premium 1 year 135, but he has different ones too.
Interesting.
Not bad at all.
If that's true. That's a pretty sweet deal for a year. Yeah, I would take that deal if it was legit. But don't just do it because I told you to. Just make sure it's legit. That's a pretty sweet deal. Okay, look. My thing is this, man. Everything looked good on Crown Jewel. What do you think?
It looked good. I liked it. It was interesting. Stephanie McCurr winning the title the way she won it. You could tell she had a lot of emotion. Based on the fact that we've seen it on TV 4 times.
Yeah.
Not bad. Do you think though at this point that kind of hurts Tiffy? Someone who's been working her whole time and everything.
Okay. I think it's fine. I still don't think that the title is necessary to put us on Stephanie McCurr, but due to Naomi's injury, it just messed up a lot of things.
Yeah,
I think that could have been more of. I felt like this role was more Rhea Ripley had Naomi not got pregnant. Yeah. I felt like this was whole building up for Rhea Ripley's big moment at Perth, obviously hometown. Just saying, but things happened, so Stephanie had to just go with the flow and get the title on her. And I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying, I thought it was just
great,
too soon.
She's done fantastic though. By the way, I don't know if you heard, but supposedly Seth Rollins has been seen in a sling after all.
Is this true this time? Because remember last time where he was limping? He went on
Crutches.
talk show host,
Crutches and everything.
and then next thing you know, he ended up screwing CM Punk.
Yeah, I don't know. I say the fact that he's been seen in the sling, so we'll see. I don't know. But to add to your point, to add to that, I like the fact that Bronson beat Roman, which was really good. I like the little tension you have. I still see Jay flipping at War Games against them.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact he's like, I love you, don't forget that, but these are not the old times.
Yeah.
Basically saying we aren't the bloodline anymore. We are now basically, you guys are you, I'm me. Let me do me. Because I don't, because he said it multiple times. I'm tired of people saying I couldn't do it without you. I couldn't do it without you. I can do it myself.
Right.
So like that was like a oh cool, like another shot at I chose you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you didn't need to. I didn't need you guys. So that's another one. Finally, you know, Seth get, you know, for better terms, overcoming the giant, which is beating Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that one?
About him beating him?
Clean too. I mean, you know, clean. No outside interference.
Yeah.
No outside interference.
Yeah.
No Bronson. Yeah.
Thought it was okay. Look, overall, my whole thoughts on this whole PLE gave it a B.
Okay.
There's one reason I don't really want to give it so much of an A. It's just that a lot of it was just kind of meaningless. Storyline wise, it just this thing seemed like more of a filler PLE, which there always are. And when you don't have good storyline, because think about it, Stephanie and Tiffany, no development of story at all.
But it's something on how to match.
But that doesn't matter. Still, you know, you could have a great match, but there's still no storyline. There was no build.
That's like no offense to anyone that's a fan, but that's like an AEW move.
Yeah.
Put random people together, cool, call it a day, have a great match.
Well, if you're gonna call out one company, you gotta call out the other. So once again, no, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't get an A. We don't. Hell, I didn't even grade it an AEW PLE in a long time. And there's a reason why. If there's no story development, it doesn't get an A in my books.
I got you. That makes sense.
I mean, the only, I guess, the development we got really was the Roman and the Usos at the end of his match. Cody and Seth, yeah, their storyline, but it ended. I mean, it's just like a one and done thing, though. Like, it wasn't really okay. So over weeks, yeah, it was good. It just look. My only gripe with that match, I liked it. I thought it was a great match. I thought it was one of the best of the nights. This card was solid with the wrestling. It was solid overall. But my only gripe is that finishers don't matter. And especially when you're the champion. Yeah. And what I mean by that is Cody Rhodes. You do a couple of crossroads, the guy kicks out. It's meaningless. You go to the top, you do a super crossroads.
Yep.
It's meaningless. You kick out somehow. This is just getting very overreacting of kicking out of the finishers. You got to protect the finishers like you did back in the old days, you know? But otherwise, it was a pretty solid match as well. I liked it, but it just doesn't, I don't know. I guess it does something, but it just doesn't do as much as in the end as you think it does, if you know what I mean. Like, but I guess with the betrayal, that's what was the whole point, is that he was taking too much credit and people got tired of it. What else we got here?
Tyler says again, I think WWE needs to stop putting the Vision Group and Roman Reigns after this War Games. It's just crazy, brother. The Death Rider is more better than the Seth Riders.
The Seth Riders. Yeah, honestly, they should give him a break. Well, look, I think Seth will be back next week. Well, actually, if you're saying he's in crutches and stuff, I don't think he will be.
Just a sling, not crutches, just a sling.
And then Roman's gone again.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. Well, that's another thing. See, it has a story, but then the story goes away. So now you're left with Jimmy and Jay and continue on. We need more dedicated actors to the movie, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So we need
full-timers.
Full-timers once again.
Part-timer here and there is cool, but when you like literally try to revolve the story around the part-timer, you can't do that.
At least with the Death Riders, they're there weekly. Even if we don't like it, they're still there weekly at least. Yeah. See, that's the thing. You know, Mox is the workhorse that's actually there. It may not be good. I guess it's there at least. They're established heels in a way. But yeah, it's just gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna develop. But I'm already, as we talk, kind of fearing of you know, what's in the future to come, and how things are not just gonna be left again unsatisfied. Yeah, we get a great reaction to something that we didn't expect, and then from here it goes from here slowly back down again, and we're gonna be complaining in a month that this was just all meaningless.
We're talking about one thing though that I wanted to talk to you about.
What?
AJ Styles versus John Cena.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. Spot fest, but a good match overall. This one didn't need storyline. We all know what it was about. I mean, they said it themselves. AJ rocking the trunks that he started in TNA with was kind of a nice homage.
Literally.
And then Cena handing a note to the announcer, and the reaction that even AJ gave, because obviously he didn't know what was in that note. How, he mentioned he's Mr. Total Nonstop Action, the undisputed leader of the Bullet Club, which I was surprised that he said.
The face that built the house.
The face that runs the place.
Yeah, the face that runs the place, sorry.
Yeah, the house that AJ Styles built. All that stuff was fun. It really was. The whole match was fun. To me, the best. So, when you talk about replay, out of all the matches that night, this is the only one on that card I feel like you want to go back and watch it again, because it was just fun. Everything else kind of like, yeah, you could set it and forget it, but this is the one where like, man, what's good matches this year? You know what? Let's run Cena versus AJ back, because that was a banger.
It was a straight up banger.
Yeah. So it was nice. Obviously, we knew Cena was going to win, but this was what the fans wanted. We got it. I don't think anyone complained. I mean, yeah, I'm sure someone complained, but
there was a couple writers who were like, "Oh, this is a spot fest, blah blah blah," and I need people on the internet to stop trying to control everything. Someone basically assumed to be Vince Russo was like, "Oh, bro, he's not happy with his current WWE run with the retirement tour. So for that, his camp and AEW's camp are talking, and he's gonna go to AEW. He might not even show up to Washington or to Boston." I'm like, shut the fuck up. Honestly, it just gets annoying. We get it. It's not the greatest run, but heck, we're still having fun now.
Yeah. One thing is that I like the finishers that they did for TNA.
Yes.
Homage, Franklin Kazarian, Sting,
Justin Daniels.
Yeah, Christopher Daniels.
Christopher Daniels.
There was a lot of good spots. The issue is that obviously they don't want to give out names due to these guys, some of these guys working for the other side. So, especially with the Scorpion Death Drop.
Yeah.
Michael Cole did not want to say, which was odd, because I think I remembered, if I'm correct, after Sting's retirement, I think they did shout out something on Raw, which I thought it was odd that they dropped his name or something, but then they don't want to mention his name now. So, just kind of weird out. I guess tensions rose up since then between AEW and WWE. So
don't forget John Cena did the Walls of Jericho, which was
kind of nice. Kind of nice for the crowd too. The chant Y2J. Yeah. Oh, we got comments too, by the way.
Tyler said I was watching. Do you see the Fight Club Night 1 and 2?
Okay. How was that, by the way?
Let us know how it was. Konsoki Takeshita.
No, Takeshita.
Oh, Takeshita. Sorry, Takeshita is the new New Japan Pro Wrestling Champion. Let's go.
Yeah, he beat Zack Sabre Jr. I saw that actually today. We were going to talk about it. It's a good thing you brought it up. Yeah, I saw that. Well deserved. Finally putting the strap on this guy. He is the future of wrestling, Takeshita. Whether he stays to AEW, moves around, because he's never, believe it or not, he's never been to New Japan. He's never wrestled in that promotion. And he's still young, by the way. So this is kind of a nice touch to that. Hopefully Tony continues to push him on, and he's the one that has that tension in the Don Callis family with Okada right now.
Okay.
So my prediction is this: eventually they're going to go at it, and I have Takeshita basically beating Okada and reigning supreme over him. If not, they're going to do a best out of like 5 series or some shit. Yeah. Which I don't mind. They're both good wrestlers. I'm sure they both have great chemistry in the ring together. But But yeah, congrats to Takeshita. Much deserved win, honestly. I saw that today too, and I was like, okay, fine, good. Alrighty. Finally pulled the trigger on Takeshita. Oh, so let's talk about a little bit of AEW recently. This is today, I think.
Can I just say one final thing?
What?
Thank you to John Cena for the tribute to Bray Wyatt. It did bring a tear to my eye.
Yeah, that's a nice tribute too.
Very, very nice. And just him looking up, we miss you.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, the fans right away with the fireflies right after Sister Abigail. It was such a beautiful tribute.
Nice homage, yo.
Okay.
So let's talk about something that was a developing story that I heard today. Mm-hmm. And this is just kind of breaking in a way out today. And that is Darby Allin mentioned a little something and took a little shot to a special guy. And he never dropped the name, but we all have speculation. Let me read this out loud to you. And he was on a podcast today, and, they were asking about the changes in AEW and how things are going. The guy hosting the podcast, and this is what Darby had to say. The cancer got cut out. This is what Allen said. Just egotistical wrestlers that don't want to lose. Groups of people. There's a lot of people. At the end of the day, this is all stage. It's the greatest thing in the world, but it's all stage. So if you have an ego about that, get out of the fucking sport. This is what he said, by the way. Go be in the UFC. Don't bring that shit here. This is about having fun. This is about putting on good energy. Come on, man. Just stop. Once and all, that got cleared up. I really felt, okay, cool, let's rock. I just don't like egos. I can't stand them. By the way, a little bit of back, story to this was that he was asked about, a little bit about Tony Khan as well and things that happened before, and this is what kind of got brought up. So he had a lot to say. There's more to it, but we're not going to read all that. But the way he said cut out the cancer, we kind of already know who he's taking the jab at. And that is the only one, the cancer of AEW.
Jack Perry.
Yeah, Jack Perry, the space ghost. We already know it's CM Punk. We got laughing emojis, and he is so funny. Yeah. Look, I get it. It's your opinion. Darby Allin's opinion. I mean, it is what it is. He's the right to his own opinion. The issue is, man, this is a thing that's already. I mean, I guess the question was asked, what improvements was made, but it's like, I guess in my eyes, this whole CM Punk thing is already blown off from both sides. I think Punk's over it by now, and I hope he is. And so is a lot of the AEW wrestlers, and I think even Tony Khan's over it at this point.
He's no longer feared for his life?
I guess not. But what was the point of him bringing this up again? Like, to add up controversy? Because I guess, maybe you'll have people talking, but it's already been like a year and a half already, overdue. Yeah. Well, since the release of the tape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's already been done, dude. It's overdone. We get it. Okay, so this is not the first time I heard that morale got better when CM Punk left. All right? I don't know what happened. No one's ever going to know, probably. Because all these NDAs that were signed, even after the fights, we're never really going to know full details of what was going on behind the scenes. And we probably never will. But it's like, set it, forget it, move on. You could have just mentioned things have gotten better, throughout the years. We had some issues, but everything's taken care of. We're headed to a better direction, and 2026 will be, the rise of AEW once again, and we're going to get bigger house shows and blah, blah, blah. Instead, this is kind of a pity jab, like
I feel like this is more, instead of a pity jab or like a petty jab, this is more like a how can I say, like a clout kind of jab.
A count?
No, a clout. Like basically just, I'm going to say the name that everyone kept saying was the cancer, so I'm not going to say it, but the cancer got cut. It's like, if it was the cancer, why do you still have to mention the cancer?
It could, that could be, that's what I'm saying, controversy. He brought it up for controversy because obviously controversy creates cash. And when he brings out controversy, he brings out attention. That's in the same category. I get what you're saying, though.
But at the same point, it's like, let's put it, Punk doesn't say anything, or no one says anything. It's like, so then you said that for what?
Well, we don't know if Punk will say anything because I think it was today.
Yeah.
So we'll see the next. I'm intrigued to see the next couple of days.
A couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple of days, couple of weeks, even a month from now. If Punk ever responds back to this, I don't think he will, because I think everybody's already past the point. Even the people that had beef with him, I think, are past the point for that direction, and that's including the EVPs of the company.
Greatest EVPs of all time.
Oh yeah. But regardless, I think everything's blown out of proportion for Darby Allin. I feel like he just needs to, set it apart and just forget about it already. We get it, but there is a better way to answer that question. Look, things are looking good, maturity wise, right?
Yeah.
You know what this does for you is that it sets off another tribalism effect where so-called fans are going to attack AEW and Tony Khan over this comment.
And Darby too.
Well, I was going to say that. It was going to be Tony Khan and AEW. And it's mostly Tony Khan and AEW because Darby Allin says it, and they assume that everything's tied up together. Even though one person's opinion, it creates a whole mess. So, and especially when you're one of the, four pillars of the group. You're one of the guys when you're talking about AEW, you think right away, you think of Darby Allin, Kenny Omega, Hangman, MJF, you know what I mean? Right. They're going to associate yourself with that, and there goes the tribalism and the trash talking coming your guys' way. It's unnecessary. It shouldn't have been said. That's just my opinion. We got a comment.
I was listening to JDOFNY.
Oh, that
one
guy.
Day, that Darby Allin is going to be champion, but I kind of like the Darby Allin. I think he needs to push his point. So basically, he needs to push at this point.
He does. And hey, maybe this is part of the storyline of AEW. Let's mention CM Punk names for next week's.
Let's get ratings back up.
Yeah, mention Punk's name. Jokes aside, though, do I think Darby Allin needs a title? Overdue.
Yes.
Yeah. Way overdue. This is one of the guys that keep going and going. Yes, he was out for a bit, and that's because he was climbing Mount Everest. Yeah, that's a big accomplishment.
It really is, man. Congrats.
So congrats to him. Look, let's just see what happens the next couple of days. It was kind of interesting to see, and I was surprised. I was like, cut the cancer. I'm like, who the fuck said this? And not gonna lie, I'm surprised that it was Darby Allin. I didn't really expect that from him, but everybody has their opinions. You're entitled to it. Hey, let's see what happens for the next couple of days.
Honestly.
Yes. And look, so overall, let's see what happens with AEW. I mean, we already know things are not looking too good rating-wise on their side of the pond. Let's just hope things get boosted off too in general for both sides.
Eventually, man.
Yeah. We also got another special note to say that Raven has been diagnosed with early stages of Parkinson's.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy, dude.
Well, look at the company he used to work with. Look at the style of fight. It happens, man. Let's just hope for the best. I really think that Raven was the most underrated wrestler at his era.
Mm-hmm.
I love the whole grudge scene thing that he used to do. I used to like Raven's Nest, Raven's Flock. I think he did great in ECW, obviously, because his best work. But I also thought he was underrated in WCW.
Yeah.
In WWE, he never had a chance. You want to hear a funny story?
Hit me.
Supposedly, the reason why he never really got a chance to start off in WWE is that he was best friends with, he was best friends with Shane O'Mac. And Miss McMahon didn't think highly of, Raven at all. And then him befriending Shane O'Mac and his history with Shane O'Mac, how he doesn't really like him as a son, kind of didn't help him out a lot. So, yeah.
Speaking of which, did you hear?
What?
Shane O'Mac has been added back to active roster at WWE.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with that eventually.
So there's a little speculation there.
I think it's more just him inducting Stephanie McMahon to the Hall of Fame.
I can see it.
Yeah, I don't think it's too much of it. I'll be surprised if it's another storyline, but what can he do at this point?
War Games?
Yeah. You think so?
Why not? They're pulling everything up their ass now to save him.
What, to jump over a cage? I mean, he's old, man. I don't think I want to see that.
Coast on top from the top of the cage. I do want to add one more thing, though.
Okay.
Respect to the Dudleyz Boyz and to Matt and Jeff Hardy.
We're actually going to speak about that.
Go ahead, bro. Sorry.
Okay. So, Bound to Glory just happened. I didn't watch the whole thing yet, so I'm gonna get there eventually. I missed it. I don't know what came over me. I forgot about it, that it happened this weekend. And so, but I did catch a couple of matches. My biggest one I want to catch eventually is the Mike Santana win.
Okay.
So the champion's back. The title is back home where it belongs. Congrats to Mike Santana. Well deserved. I'm happy for this guy. You know, he's putting on performances everywhere he goes. I've seen this guy a couple of times in the indie where he left AEW and it was going through the indies going crazy. Guy's a hell of a performer, hell of a guy on the mic, has the looks, potential's there. I mean, I think this guy's going to eventually land in WWE,
Like shit.
NXT, and then move his way up to the roster. This is much more. Look, we all know that WWE likes, diversity, and that's fine. I think this is the right guy to push for that.
Okay.
I think he has all the skill sets right there.
Mhm.
So, hey, eventually I think he's going to be called up just like a Joe Henry will, and just like Jordan Grace did eventually. What else we got?
I think, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think AEW and Tony Khan need to stop focusing on WWE, please. I think Tony Khan needs to push AEW to the next level.
I agree with that. I think this whole thing was more of a Darby thing.
Yeah.
Tony Khan out. I haven't heard Tony Khan mention much in
There's nothing
WWE.
about it.
Yeah, he's like, anytime they ask him questions about counter programming, he just kind of beats around the bush and just kind of like, yeah, we're putting on a good performance and that's all we could, that type of like your, what's it called? Company type of quote. And that's all you could do.
It was like he's not avoiding the question. He knows the question's there, but he's like, I don't really care about it.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like matured a little bit and just kind of says, well, if I say something, it's going to go back at me. If I just beat around the bush, it might just go away. So, and I think that's the best thing you could do at this point. Yeah, just set it, forget it, and just move on. I think TK needs to focus on AEW and Ring of Honor. Well, I do agree with Ring of Honor. I think Ring of Honor, it's just a big shell of its former self. And honestly, I don't think you could ever arrive at. I think it's lost. I think it's done. I think you lost their hardcore fan base. I mean, Ring of Honor had a big fan base. I remember that. I still have some DVDs of Ring of Honor. I have a lot.
He does.
A lot. I used to love a lot of Ring of Honor in general. The pay-per-views that came out. I used to buy the DVDs. I remember seeing Kevin Steen in there and thinking this guy's going to be big, and look where he's at. Fortunately, he's out. But
wish him very speedy recovery.
Yeah, but there was a lot of guys that came from that indie scene, dude, that Ring of Honor scene. But I don't think it's ever coming back to its full form ever, even if Tony Khan decides to put bigger investment. But he has to, by the way. He tried to sell Ring of Honor to Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers rejected the idea to put it on TV. So this is why it's on YouTube. And he keeps trying to push it, and they keep rejecting it. So unfortunately, like I said, I don't think it's ever going to be big like it used to be, not even on the indie scenes. And honestly, I think you just need to rebrand it, set it away, throw the library on HBO Max, and then eventually, maybe in a couple of years, you could bring it back, bring a little bit of hype, but you got to wait a bit, But that's just, the reality of the world with that. It was a failure in how Tony Khan approached it, but at this point, not much you could do, even if you did focus on it. So, all right, let's talk about the Dudleyz versus Hardys. I watched this match. It wasn't long, thank God. Tables match. You have to put both guys through the tables. Look, we watched these guys when growing up. I was a big Hardy Boys fan. I was a big Jeff Hardy fan growing up. I thought it was a decent match for what it was. I already knew that this was going to be the Dudley's last match because there was no way Devon was going to keep going. Now,
Devon, no, he's done.
I think Bubba is going to keep going, but Devon is done for sure. This was just one of those things that Devon wanted to do with Bubba one last time, and wanted to do with one of their best rivals, which would be the Dudleys. What else we got here? By the way, comments real quick.
Do you think Ring of Honor is going to go out of business soon or something? I think Ring of Honor on honor of club.
I don't think they're going to go out of business because, once again, this is owned by Tony Khan, who just shells out so much money, even if it's going to die off. I think it should get rebranded. I think it should get killed off. And like I said, brought back eventually, like a couple of years later, like way later, and see if you could bring the hype back into it. Like I said, put the catalog, put the library catalog, because it's a big library, into HBO Max, right? Get some hype, hype into it, and then eventually bring it back years later once everybody's seen this catalog and be like, oh shit, I want to see something like this again. And put more of the indie guys in there, the guys that are going to go, big eventually, bring that nostalgia back to it. Because like I said, it's not the same thing. It really isn't, not even close. They can't even build a crowd like they used to. This crowd is the crowd so usually Ring of Honor, I haven't been in an AEW show since somewhere in the beginning of the year. But if I'm wrong, someone correct me. But Ring of Honor is usually after Dynamite, after Collusion, when everybody's leaving. Your crowd is so slim. You're going to get the hardcore fans that are going to stay, but your crowd is so slim compared to what it used to be, where they packed houses. Now, these houses weren't big, but they were alive. They were small. They were energetic. And I mean, energy was there. It's not the same energy. And even if they did their own show, it just wouldn't sell as well as it used to. I'm sorry. It just, like I said, the brand itself is dead, unfortunately. And as a Ring of Honor fan, that sucks hearing about it, but I think it just needs to be rebranded, killed off for a bit, bring the library into HBO Max, and eventually build some hype throughout, the years, and then bring it back again. Why not? So Dudleyz and Hardys, by the way, it was a decent match. There's one thing I'm going to just critique about this. I hope that after this, the Hardy Boys take it easy when it comes to like ladder matches and tables, because I seen Jeff get hit on the back of the ladder with his head. When he did the swanton, right away I could tell he hit his head. I didn't have to look at the replay. I'm like, this guy hit himself. One, he landed on the first table instead of the second table. So he did break both, but he landed more on the first table. And not only that, but you could tell he hit the ladder right away, back of his head. And then when they showed him on the floor, he grabbed his head in pain. Look, I like the Hardys. I still think if they want to wrestle, they can. None of this ladder matches anymore, man. It's just someone's gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
eventually.
I'm surprised they haven't. I'll be honest, I'm trying to be mean, but I'm surprised they really haven't.
Well, Matt has a couple of times, but
yeah.
So, look, overall though, nostalgia field, I thought it was a good match for what it was. During the end, we saw them hug it out. I mean, great ending though. I'm gonna say this, great ending. They had the chairs on them. They were gonna take out Bubba. Instead, they threw the chairs down and said, "Look, we're sorry, man," and then basically slammed them through the table. Ended it. Yeah. Bubba basically said, Bubba did the Ric Flair thing, like just do it already. Then ended it. They both hugged it out. They both, raised up their arms. And then in the end, we saw the Dudleys take off their boots, which means they're done. They're done. I don't know if Bubba's done as an in-ring solo act, but as a group, they're done. That's the significance of giving up your boots. It's like, that's it. I'm retired. I'm done. When you leave it in the ring, you're done. But in this case, they gave it to the Hardys as their trophy. Mm-hmm. As in, look, we won the titles, but this one's going to be more to us than anything else. Yeah. Yeah, because that's your greatest rivals. They grew up, they went back years when the Hardys were young and the Dudleys were first getting into WWE and their popularity was soaring. Man, that nostalgia hits hard. All your legends are getting old. The reality is we're all getting old. Cena, Styles is retiring. Okay, Cena's retiring. Styles is retiring soon as well. The Dudleys are gone. Orton eventually going to get there. CM Punk, I'll give him a few years where he decides to hang him up too. We're all getting there, my man. Look, it's going to happen. Hell, even eventually Logan Paul is going to be there. It's going to be shocking to say that now. But, yeah, everybody's getting there, man.
Rollins, LA Knight.
Hey, sometimes you got to call it a day eventually at your own terms. Be happy. I'm happy they got this moment.
I'm happy that AJ Styles is doing what he said himself.
Yeah.
I don't want to embarrass myself.
Well, yeah, because eventually when you grow old, you don't have that agility anymore. And
No.
for AJ Styles, his style of wrestling cannot go on for any much longer after 50. What else we got?
Couple comments. So the Hardy Boys have 3 belts now. Yes, they are. They have 3 belts.
He did say.
Sorry. I think Ring of Honor and MLW need a collaboration.
That could happen. That should happen. Hey, let's just see that happening. Actually, that's kind of interesting to say. So I agree with you.
The Hardy Boys have 3 belts now.
That is true. I think. Yeah, you're right on that.
3.
Yeah, 3. That's crazy to think about.
I'm feeling like the Hardy Boys are in their prime, but they're old. No, they're not in their prime. No.
Look, to say they're in their prime, I don't think Jeff Hardy would have missed that swanton off the ladder and hit himself in the back of the head because he missed it a lot.
Anything. Like he's not on any sort of substances. I'll tell you that right now. No, they're not anymore.
I think when it comes to, I'm gonna say something. When it comes to their mic work, I could say they're on their prime because we already know that the Hardy Boys weren't. I mean, Matt was good on the mic. He was decent in the beginning. He didn't really come into his own when he was version 1 Matt Hardy.
Yeah,
that's when his mic skills just leveled up. And Jeff was never good on the mic in the beginning, but their mic work now.
Sure, the roof.
Yeah, but that's because experience. Them going everywhere in the world, they realize how to play it up to the crowd, especially Matt Hardy. I think Matt is one of the best in the mic between both of them, as well as best creative between both of them. How he's able to create all these characters. It's awesome.
Who said I go to Jeff, but characters and promos, Matt.
Yeah. Honestly, there's a debate to say which Hardy was the better Hardy. Because, Jeff had the more successful careers, I guess, in some people's eye. But if you look at Matt, how he re-innovated himself. Hell, that broken Matt Hardy was at the peak of TNA's dying days. And somehow he brought eyes to that product because of him. And his broken character was big at the time. Everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
And when he finally came over, they were like, we're never going to get Broken Matt. We're never going to get Broken Matt. And we finally got him, even though Vince wasn't pleased with that at the time. But we did get him. So I think there's a debate going on there one day. We could talk about this in another topic where who's was the better brother out of the two. It's hard to say. I like Jeff, but you could make a strong debate for Matt Hardy. You really can. It's hard. It's tough. All right, look. Overall, though, talking about Bound for Glory, I think it hit about. I think what I heard, the attendance was about 7,500, if I'm correct. But it was there. It was around that number. That is huge.
Yeah.
That is a big number for TNA. I think it's been years. I think they had a last PLE that hit about the same numbers, but that is still big for a PLE. But this is basically their mania.
Yep. Okay.
So to get a number like that, congrats to them. They're on the right direction. Maybe eventually we'll see them get a TV deal in a couple of months, but things are looking bright for TNA. I do agree the whole WWE thing is helping them a lot.
Yeah.
So, hey, congrats to them because a couple of years ago we thought TNA was going to die off, even though they're like the roach that never goes away. They weren't going to die off completely, but they could have been like a fort on the market, and hell, some other market could have took it over, like MLW or AAA if they weren't getting, AAA didn't get bought out. Point being is that TNA was going to go down. This is like their second life. I think right now they're a good number 3 spot in the wrestling business.
Actually,
I like Jeff and Matt too. Same, growing up. Yeah. Any other thoughts, comments, my man, for the week? Any ideas where you think anything is heading into, want to give any thoughts of opinions?
I've been giving mine, brother. I'm gonna tell you again. I think the Vision kicked off set to bring in Jay.
So that's what you think? Jay's going to be the new leader?
Yep. I do think.
I think Oba Femi is going to come soon to the Vision, or gets himself associated with them for War Games at least.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to stick around for NXT after losing the title. So that'll be interesting to see it in a couple of weeks who they bring in. I think WWE buys TNA and come in. Yeah. That's pretty much going to happen. If it's not this year, it's going to be by the end of the next year for sure. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing,
We will see.
Yeah, we will see. Unfortunately, any other thoughts and opinions, my man? Because I'm about done here today.
I'm done, brother. I have nothing else to say. I'm just excited to see what happens in the next couple of months. We do have War Games coming up.
That's the next PLE.
That's next PLE is coming up in a couple of weeks. So we'll see what happens there. We'll definitely see the next steps.
Oh, so we do have a rumor going around, a strong rumor, that supposedly Elimination Chamber is taking place in the Windy City, which would be Chicago.
Yep.
This is what Dave Meltzer reported. So let's just hope this one is right this time, because that's going to be exciting, for me at least.
So I do want to say one thing. I did talk to my girl when I saw the initial official story. I think it was Friday when I saw it. Talked to her about it, and I did tell her because I still owe Mija a one event where I'm not holding back, where I'm actually myself. She wants to see it because I haven't seen one with her like that. So I did tell her, like, look at the dates. Tell me. She said it's coming in at the end of February. So far, it's not just Dave Meltzer. It's actually been spreading around. So we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens. Tickets are going to go on sale probably after War Games, before end of December. They go on sale.
Well, NXT is coming to the same spot that AEW was hosting Dynamite out here, and that's the Aragon Ballroom. So it's kind of funny how WWE is kind of copying the style of AEW by showing up in the same area that they did. Kind of funny, So interesting.
Different.
That actually is already announced. That was set.
Okay.
Sales are going to go through for tickets from that. It's kind of interesting to see, though. But overall, yeah, man, that's something excited to see. Forget about watching GCW.
Don't forget about watching GCW because Fight Club Night 1 GCW versus JCW versus
JCW versus GCW.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
See, that's another one. Do you think eventually GCW gets more associated with WWE and themselves, because they have done
a
couple of guys brought in there. I think it was Natty showed up in there for one of those deathmatch style matches, and so did Karrion Kross while he was under contract with WWE. Do you see that eventually going more through? Because I think they tried with AEW and things got a little weird the last time they tried. You know what I mean? Is there more associated brands going to WWE's way eventually?
I could see it.
Yeah.
And this is why, though, dude. It's because, I was at the first ever Forbidden Door event. I was at the very, very first one. And I was a fan because I was there. It was at the United Center last minute, dude. Honestly, I bought nosebleed tickets for $2 a pop. I was completely happy with it myself. I'm not going to lie. Bought 4 tickets less than $10. Let's go. It's one. Two, the thing I'll tell you that I did not like the most about it was, I feel like this has killed Tony Khan with a lot of cross promotions. The fact is that he doesn't allow another promotion to beat his.
Well, he has a couple of times.
Now he has, but in the first one, it's like you could definitely see, like, dude, the favoritism here is just through the roof, dude. There's so many AEW people that should not have won.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about the same one, that main event, if I'm not mistaken, was
Moxley versus somebody else.
No. It was the title match, wasn't it?
That was Moxley. Moxley was in the title match.
No, he wasn't. It was Jay White winning that one. I remember that because that was the one that Adam Cole got concussed.
But that wasn't the main event, though. The main event was Moxley versus somebody else from New Japan with Moxley going over.
Yeah, but that was the champions, I'm saying, at the time. Yeah, so I think it was Jay White. That was the biggest win for that night, too.
Yeah.
But then eventually Jay White did join AEW, even though I think he wanted to join WWE. But during Triple H's run, until Vince came back, and then he left, and then Jay White joined AEW. And unfortunately, Jay White's injured. Yeah, so that's that. But I get what you're saying.
That's why I feel like a lot of companies don't want to collaborate with AEW.
I don't think, but I mean, do you really think it's just AEW, though? You got to look at it this way. They are the bigger promotion, all right, in that whole field. You're not going to tell me that WWE doesn't do the same thing with TNA right now? Look at who was their champion for TNA for not just – who did Mike Santana beat?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You don't think that WWE is doing the same thing that AEW does, but everybody was quick to critique one company.
Of course, 100%.
That's just one of those things where you're bigger fish. I mean, the small fish
And the bigger pond.
Yes, and that's just going to be your common thing everywhere you go. They did give some wins to New Japan and the other companies. I get what you're saying. So put it this way, I think the better route is instead of like this is what AEW does. I think it's more of this. Let's take TNA for example. They work with AEW. They had Kenny Omega win their title, right? And at the time, I thought it was crazy. I didn't see that coming.
Crazy as hell.
No one saw that coming. Now it's not so shocking. But at the time it was shocking. I was shocked when I was watching. I was like, holy shit, they mentioned TNA? And I was a TNA watcher like every single week. So I was just surprised. So put it this way. When it comes to TNA, they did business with both. Who do you think they would rather do business with?
WWE.
Why?
Bigger name, bigger platform.
Bigger company, bigger name, more likely to help you out to get into a TV deal compared to AEW. Because I don't see any difference what they're doing right now. I feel like it's the same thing. It's just except that.
But I mean, even TNA has said they let us use writers from them. They bring over writers. They're letting us improve our product to get back to where we were at, to like a good point.
That's because WWE wants them, once again, to compete with AEW.
And to squash AEW.
That's the whole reason why. Because otherwise,
I mean, nothing.
I mean, dude, if WWE buys TNA, I think they'll kill off TNA eventually as a brand.
I think so.
Yeah, I think they just want it for the library, and they're going to use them to face off AEW. And if they don't do well, they'll just kill off TNA eventually.
Yeah,
which I'm not a big fan of, but it's a prediction. It might not be true. We got a couple of comments.
So he said, War Games. I like Marcus Matthews at WWE. I program roster Mark. My words, I think he's the future of the Stars.
I'll have to check that one out.
Check
This
him out.
whole WWE ID program is kind of nice to see. Wow, there was one female wrestler from Chicago, the girl that smiles a lot. She was in AEW for like one episode and left due to, I think it was anxiety. I know she got into that Chris Jericho scandal.
Okay.
You remember the one where supposedly Chris Jericho forced himself in a girl even though nothing was proven at all from that? I forgot her name. Kylie. I think it was Kylie something. She was in that ID program. It looked like she was going to finally get back into like big wrestling because she's local here. Then she got pregnant. So, I mean, I don't think Jimmy got to her, but Big Jim. Nah.
I think we need Javon Evans versus Marcus versus Leon.
That would be a good match between all three. I agree 100%. I think that would be a hell of a match, whatever it lands in, whether it's NXT or TNA. That'll be like match of the year right there, triple threat too. It's one of the rare triple threat matches that will for sure be good in my opinion. But yeah, dude, honestly, I'm excited to see the next couple of days how a lot of the stuff plans out because there's some exciting shit going on, man.
There's some good stuff, man.
Yeah. So I mean, if you got nothing else, let's just sign off. Thank you for joining us. Shout out to Tyler.
Thank you for keeping the comments. We appreciate it. I think Marcus, he's in GCW now.
I'm gonna check that out.
Definitely
Marcus Matthews, I'm gonna have to check that out, and I'll give your opinion back next week.
We'll definitely talk about it. We appreciate it. Honestly, like, comment, subscribe, and also don't forget to put that little notification button for when we go live, because sometimes we're not on time.
Yeah, sometimes we're not on time, like this one rare day. But thank you for joining us. Have a good night.
And next week we're back on a regular time.
Yes.
Peace.